Hi Owen, I'm continuing to work on this project with regard to postgraduate study and more importantly the cell on it. Could you just have a look at what I'm saying here and see if you agree? So we start off with the dilemma that most students have dreams of continuing their education after graduation with a bachelor's degree, and perhaps today we should be looking at a bachelor's degree as being a ticket towards further study. But that immediately creates some major problems, and I've ironed them down to just three. Understanding the progression process towards higher degrees. I don't think many students understand this when they leave university. Cost. Many students are heavily in debt, or their family finances are exhausted by the time they've got a B degree, and they don't know how to get their employers involved. And then time commitments. Time commitments are obviously very hard pressed when you're starting a career and a family. End result of the three is that the learning process often stops at the end of the bachelor's degree. And we need to address those three critical items. So if we take the qualification framework, we can see that we are dealing with people who've either got bachelor's degrees or professional bachelor's degrees. And perhaps what people are not recognizing is the context in which that sits in taking it further into postgraduate study. So I've developed a couple of little diagrams. I'm saying if you have a bachelor's degree, you are then faced with an honors degree of 120 credits or a year, followed by a master's degree at 180 credits or minimum 2 years, and that leads on to a doctoral degree. That's a very long road to hoe. Or you can continue your education with a postgraduate diploma, which would be a 1 year, 120 credits scenario, or part-time even longer, then followed by a master's, then followed by a doctorate. The important difference between the two processes is that if we go the traditional old way, you're generally looking at specialization within your field that you acquired during your bachelor's degree and really confined to one course going forward. By going on the left-hand side of the screen, what we're looking at is diversification, either through a postgraduate or a master's program. But what is important with the 3-year bachelor's degree is that if you are to diversify, you have to then continue with a postgraduate diploma before you can enroll on a master's program such as an MBA. That's the new rules that have come in. When we go over to a 4-year bachelor's degree, or the professional bachelor's degree, they can directly go into a master's degree and then onto a doctoral degree. They can go the postgraduate diploma route, but that is not going to get them any credit to extending it towards a master's degree and ultimately a doctorate. So what we're looking at is still the issue of diversification versus specialization. I think we need to really look at that quite hard, because many, by the time they've got to the end of their professional bachelor's degree, don't really want to go the research route or specialization within their particular field. What they would need, however, to recognize is that they can go directly from the professional bachelor's degree to a master's program which is diversified from the original route that they're going. That would be our MBA program. And in fact, they are silly to go on postgraduate diplomas because you're going to put 120 credits towards that, 1,200 hours, where for an extra 600 hours, they'd get a full master's degree. And I think that a lot of students are going from professional bachelor's degree to postgraduate diploma without recognizing this essential difference. And it's one of the big selling points that we have got to offer with an MBA. So we need to explain that point, that you want to get onto a diversified master's degree without going the postgraduate degree first. That would be particularly in the case of, for example, lawyers or accountants. Then we go on and we say, right, in getting to the rest of it, we need to look at the framework of a student, a university, an employer, and a government participation all coming into one, and the whole idea of a partnership between the various institutions, which leads into higher degree study. And that's where we would go on and explain how it all works with BBEE and CETA and all the rest of it. I'm thinking along the lines that we should put a presentation like this together, which we take to employers, to say, get your students as soon as they are graduated and in employment, and explain to them how their career progression works from there on. What do you think from there? Thanks, it's Matthew.